Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett announces $189 million in funding for the VI Water and Power Authority. The money for WAPA, coming from FEMA, will be used for repairs to damages as a result of Hurricane Maria. When Maria made landfall on St. Croix in September of 2017, it damaged WAPA's electrical distribution system. Plaskett says this funding will help improve the resilience of the territory's electrical distribution system, saying, quote, "Those appropriated funds will help bolster our infrastructure, increase the resiliency and independence of our energy grid, investing in the economic well-being and prosperity of all Virgin Islanders." Now, this funding announcement comes just days after Plaskett announced earlier this week more than $35 million is coming from FEMA to the VI Department of Education and Bureau of Corrections to rebuild from Hurricane Maria as well. We've been talking a lot lately about that massive floating bob of seaweed, which has reached Caribbean islands as well as parts of Florida and Mexico. And now we're learning it could also soon wash up on Texas's coast. While it may not be great for tourism, it does have many benefits for the environment. Here's why.
The waves keep crashing. It's just a matter of time before the tide brings what's next. Out in the Caribbean, a massive sargassum is floating this way.
It's really great for beach nourishment.
What's a nuisance to some tourists is something that others just tolerate.
And just the general habitat.
Erin Hartwell runs SPI sessions teaching surfing lessons around the year.
As surfers, we're in the water and it's around, it's in the water with us and we just kind of paddle around it.
Out in the open ocean, there are massives of sargassum floating and growing, an ecosystem unto itself.
I've been studying algae for years.
UTRGV professor Hudson Dio explains the seaweed lives on the water, absorbing the sun and getting bigger.
The water warms up, it begins to grow more, so you're going to have, as it's getting closer, it's getting bigger at the same time.
This is a visual depiction of how the currents move in the Gulf of Mexico. NOAA maps show where the sargassum has been growing in yellow. From there, the currents will bring it north and west, funneling through Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba, and then to Florida, where it's already making landfall. Their model shows the entire Gulf Coast is set to get some sargassum, shaded in blue. The area in yellow in Mexico, just south of our border, is expected to get more.
The way the current is, it brings it naturally our direction, that current flow, which is pretty consistent. So if it gets in the Gulf of Mexico, we will see it at some point.
SPI says it's ready to clean up what washes up. They say city crews will remove sargassum only when necessary. The accumulations are especially high. The city says they can use that sargassum as a foundation for the dune. They put sand on top of it, it acts as a root system, and then vegetation grows on top of it. The city says its methods will be sustainable. There are no major health concerns with sargassum, but to some it does smell like dead fish. Those with respiratory issues like asthma could feel irritated eyes and throats. While it may cause problems when it washes up in masses in some places, sargassum grows and benefits life out in the open ocean.
It creates a floating ecosystem.
They come down and pick at the sargassum. There's lots of little creatures that they love to eat. It's also great for the turtles.
The city agrees what washes up will be good for local wildlife. They say for that reason, crews will try to leave it to dry before raking it. For now, it's a matter of waiting to see what the tides bring as the floating mass comes closer to our shores.